Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 3 of the Soup Empire here on YouTube. This is the third episode of my new farming simulator series where we're attempting to make £1 million out of soup and canned goods. So we've got a lot to get through today, but I think the first thing I want to do is kick off with a contract. There are two beautiful cultivating contracts that, as you can see, are actually right next door to each other. In total, they're worth over £20,000. We don't need to hire the gear, we've got the gear. So we're going to set the worker off, send them over to the field, and we'll get that contract started. In terms of our own fields, what we need to get done today, if you remember from last time, the seeder that we own doesn't fertilise as it goes, which is fine, but a bit of a problem in the sense that we have to fertilise with a sprayer afterwards. I know on video 1 I said I don't normally spray my fields, I normally have a seeder that will fertilise at the same time as seeding, and I normally like to plough. But at the moment, we're a little bit short on the old cash money, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the Kubota, we're going to go get the fertiliser, or rather get the sprayer, fill it with fertiliser, and then we'll head down to, hello doggy, and then we'll head down to our field and we'll take a look at the crop, beautifully germinating. But first of all, let's see if we can figure out how to work this little thingamy-bob back here. Remember we mentioned this in the first episode on our quick tour. It's a cash machine, but you appear to be able to buy whatever type of spreadable stuff you want in it, which is fantastic. So we're going to grab a couple of 1,000 litres of fertiliser. Liquid fertiliser, of course. It's going in a sprayer rather than a spreader. Now we just need to figure out how to get it into the sprayer. I'm guessing it's one of these trigger points here. Maybe. This information bar is telling me that it does have 2,000 litres of fertiliser in it, which is brilliant. That's what we've just paid for. So we wouldn't want to pay for something and not receive it. So let's hook up to the sprayer. I keep saying spreader, but I normally use that red Bredal spreader. That is the cheapest one in the store on the other playthroughs that I've done. So if I keep saying spreader, it's just because that's what I'm used to. But this spray is really nice. It's got a huge working width. And now we just need to figure out how we are going to get our fertiliser into it. I'm guessing we just back up to the trigger point or back up somewhere. I'm pressing R frantically here to see R for refill. Pressing it frantically to see if we can get some fertiliser into this sprayer. Still not working. Maybe I'm just not at the right trigger point. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what to do here. I'm sure that we must be able to load it from here. We can buy it and we can load it into the facility. Let's try this one. Although this looks like it might be more solid stuff, and I can't get the fertiliser sprayer under there anyway because I've bashed into it. Okay, let's give it one more go. Let's pull up. Let's reverse. You guys know all about my reversing skills if you've watched my other two videos. We're going back. We're in the trigger. We're next to the tanks, we're pressing R. Is anything going to happen? Yes! Fantastic result. So we know what to do for next time. Park up right in front of those giant tanks. Alright, so we've got the fertiliser in there. We are going to head down to our field and spray the fertiliser. If you recall, we put canola in this field. It's a cash crop. We're not going to keep it. We are basically planting to get some money at this point, and canola is a pretty good source of money if you play Farming Simulator, which I'm sure you do if you've clicked on this video. It's a pretty good source of money. It's a crop that will get you a decent profit, but like any other crop, it needs fertilising. There's other work we need to do on our field. We didn't lime it, but the lime wasn't too bad. I do have the liming option turned on, so we will need to put lime on our fields eventually. But the lime on this field wasn't actually too bad. The previous farmer looks like he looked after it okay. And here we are. Let's just have a little quick look. We'll jump out of the tractor and yeah, there's our beautifully germinating canola. Looking good. Needs rolling, as it said on the information screen there. it didn't tell us anything about the line, but that's because we haven't purchased the field information through Precision Farming. So that's just what we're doing here. Looking at that field information, we can see it's sandy loam, which is not the best, but it's not terrible. We'll get a decent yield off this. It cost us a few quid to get that field information. So let's get back in the tractor. Let's get fertilising our field. And once that is done, I will see you on the other side and we'll decide what we're going to go and do next. Let's start fertilising. And there we go. We're coming to the end of the fertilising. I think we've got another row to do, but that's okay. As you can see, it didn't take very long at all. Barely worth putting in a time lapse, to be honest. But if you look at the mini-map in the lower right-hand corner, you can see that it was completely red, indicating that the nitrogen levels were really, really poor. And if you look at it now, it's kind of a weird patchwork of green and yellow, and I don't know why that is. But it's all fertilised anyway, so it's going to give us a pretty good substantial bonus to our yield. Alright, so let's talk about what we're going to do next. So I've been looking around the various fields that live around the farm where we're based, and there's a really nice one, top left hand corner of the map. Really lovely. It's completely loam. There's no sandy loam, there's no loamy sand, there's none of that clay stuff in there. It is a beautiful loam field, and I think we're going to go for that one. Now, it is £116,000, and as you can see, we don't have that much at the moment. We're a little bit low on the cash money situation at 59,000. So, whilst we can't afford it at the moment, we can, if we do a couple of contracts and sell a little bit of our gear that we mentioned in the last episode that we're not going to need. So, what I was doing there was just basically cracking on with the cultivating contract. That's going to slowly roll up in the top right-hand corner. As you can see, it's on 0% because our helper hasn't actually started that just yet, and we'll leave that going while we're doing other things. So going back to the field that I wanted to buy. As I say, it's completely loam. It's got a great yield potential, and on the mini map, it's just spotted it there. It's field number 8. Now, just having a little look, I mean, we've got the fertiliser in the sprayer. Is there a contract that we can do? There's a couple of reasonably well-paying contracts for fertilising, but to be fair, no, I've got another idea in mind. So the field that we're looking to buy, field number 8, currently has a crop in it, but that crop is cotton, and we don't have the facilities or the equipment to harvest that cotton. So if we were to buy that field, we will be unable to pull that harvesting. So what I'm really hoping is that the harvesting of that field comes up as a contract, and the owner of the field wants it harvested before we buy it. So we're onto a double win here. I don't know if you guys have ever harvested cotton before, but one of the things with cotton is you tend to get a really, really nice bonus actually at the end of it. So the contract itself is only worth 3,000, but you can sometimes get 5,000 or 6,000 sort of bonus from selling the stuff at the end. Oh, doggy's getting in the way. Do you mind? I'm trying to reverse the sprayer here. Do you want to just walk out? No, you walk. Oh, no. Go that way, doggy. That's it. Out the way. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Right, let's pop this spray. Oh, thankfully the dog doesn't seem to collide with anything. He's going to pop out the other side there. Absolutely no worse for wear, but for being run over by a sprayer. Naughty dog. Anyway, yes, cotton. So what I'm really hoping is that there is a harvesting contract coming up today for that field to get that cotton harvested. We'll hire the equipment, we'll harvest it, we'll get the bonus from selling the cotton, which is, as I say, usually pretty generous, and we'll then go ahead and buy that field. So that's the hope. That really is the hope. I'm just checking to see if our field needs weeding, because I didn't see any weeds in it at all when we were over there. And it seems not. There appear to be 3 weeds in the whole field. And I really don't think it's worth dragging the hoe all the way over there to pull out those 3 weeds. I could go and pull them out with my hands if I wanted to. How's our contractor getting on? Yeah, doing pretty well. 7%. I always ask my helpers to start with the ups and downs because I know sometimes they struggle with the headlands. You're not really a naughty dog here. Have a belly rub. There you go. How's your food bowl? Let's go and have a look. Have you got some food, pal? You do not. You're probably a hungry bear. And we've just learned your name is Ghost. Alright, here boy. Come on, Ghost. Come on, Ghost. Food. Food. Where are you? Here he comes. I love that. You fill up the food bowl and the dog comes charging over. And it doesn't do anything weird like standing on the kennel and eating, as I've seen them do in the past. Anyway, so we've taken care of business. We've fed the dog. And we're hoping that cotton field comes up. I think what we'll do first, though, we do need to raise some funds. And as mentioned in the last couple of episodes, I'm not intending to do any grassland on this series. So we're going to flog this equipment, get rid of it. This is a windrower and a tedder and a mower for grassland. What we're not going to do, which we did last time, is drag all these pieces of equipment down to the store and sell them there, because that will just take absolutely ages. This cultivator can go. You know, we've got the bigger cultivator on the helper at the moment, so we don't need this one. So down we go into the vehicles. Let's have a little look. Let's find the cultivator. It is somewhere down here. There you go. We can sell that. And we're going to get 13.5 grand. That's not too bad. We'll okay that. Now while we're here, we'll get that grass equipment sold as well, because we're certainly not going to need that. At least not at first. We may come back and we might do a little bit of grass cultivating at some point, but we'll get what we can for these. 13.7k for the tedder, 13k for the mower, and the windrower will get us just over 16. So our money has absolutely bounced to 115,000. And remember, the field that we're looking to buy, field number 8, is 116,000. Or is it number 5? Do I keep saying number 8 when I mean number 5? No, I think it is field number 8 that we go for in the end. We're going back to it. Yeah, there we go. You can see the loam, the expected yield 123%, which is fantastic. That's the field that we want, and that's the field that's got the cotton in, as you can see. And we have a little visit, and Walter is open to selling this field, and he is open to an offer of 116,000, which we're just short of. Once that contract comes in and we finish the contract, we'll have enough to buy the field. That's no problem at all. And that's what we'll do before we finish up the episode today. Now there is a little bit of it's come up as a contract. Oh, fantastic. I mean, it's only 3.5k, and we're going to lose a chunk of that because we need to hire the equipment. But as I mentioned before, sometimes the bonus that you get off these cotton harvests is just really good. You sometimes get the whole value of the contract all over again when you do them. So I think we're going to take that. We're going to accept that contract. We're going to borrow those items, and we will harvest the crop. We'll sell the crop, we'll get our bonus, and then we'll use the money to buy the field. It's all coming together beautifully. As we mentioned, we're going to plant peas in it. So I'm just checking on when we can actually plant those peas. Turns out it's March when we can plant the peas. We can just see on the screen there right now. But they don't take long to grow. You know, if we plant in March, we can harvest in July. The sell point will probably be around about December time. So it's all looking good. So here we go. We're accepting the contract, and I've got a mod installed called Better Contracts. Gives you a little bit of information about the tools that you're going to be borrowing. It also allows you to select up to 5 contracts, I think, and it also gives you some indication of how much per hour, what the best contracts are in terms of per hour. Look at this beast. This is a beautiful cotton harvester. We're going to pop this on a helper to do an auto drive back to the farm for us, or at least we're going to try. As we're going to see in a moment, our helper is doing her best. She really is. She's normally a fantastic driver. However, first of all, she's going to run a couple of signs over and then get stuck on this lamppost. So what I think we'll do is I'll take over. I'll drive this. It's a bulky machine. It's one of those ones that it's going to collide with lampposts and fellow road users all the way back up to the field. So what I think I'll do is I'll drive it back up to the field, or at least halfway. Taking a couple of no entry signs with us. I did warn in the first episode that we will be destroying a lot of signs in this series. So I'll take it back up to a point where we're off the road, we can put the helper back on, and then I'll go grab the tractor and we'll head to the field. So we're up to the field. We've put a helper onto the harvester, so the helper is going to go around and harvest that beautiful cotton for us. But I don't know if you've noticed, because I certainly didn't, the elephant in the room. The windscreen wipers are moving. Now what happens when it rains is your harvest is considerably reduced. I've read different figures, but I think the consensus is you lose half your harvest if you harvest in the rain. Now thankfully at this point I'm about to notice that it's raining. Now even for contract harvesting you have to be really careful, guys, in that if you take a contract to harvest a field and it rains and you harvest in the rain, you won't get enough yield off that field to complete that contract. Now what that means is you're going to be out of pocket, because the only thing you can do is cancel the contract and you lose the money for the equipment hire. So it's a good job I spotted that, and I'm having a look here. It's going to rain until 6 o'clock. I mean, it's 12 hours. That is 6 hours away. What am I going to do for 6 hours? Let's see what the helper's up to. The helper's okay. You can cultivate in the rain. That's not a problem. You just can't harvest. If anybody's wondering, you can mow in the rain. You can mow grass. That's not a problem. There's no yield deficit on mowing when it's raining, but there is on combinable crops and clearly on cotton as well. When you're harvesting in the rain, just don't do it, guys, because you lose 50% of your yield. That figure may or may not be correct, but you do lose a lot of yield. And I have done contracts in the rain before without noticing, and I've got to the sell point. I've sold all of the crop from the harvest, and it hasn't been enough to complete the contract. And that's not a good situation to be in, guys. So we'll just do a bit of housekeeping. We'll park up the truck. But I'm wondering, we can't do anything else, so why don't we take this fertilising contract? We looked at it earlier, we decided against it, but we've got the fertiliser sprayer, we've got the fertiliser, why not do it? Spraying contracts are usually pretty decent. The only thing that I don't like about them is you have to factor in the cost of the fertiliser, because the job itself doesn't provide the fertiliser for you. You've got to provide your own fertiliser, which is, that's okay. We've got a 1,500 litres of liquid fertiliser left in here from doing our own field, because our own field was tiny. Let's go fertilise somebody else's field. You can do that in the rain, that's no issue. Those 2 flashing circles indicate we've got 2 contracts on the go, and I'm just at the moment trying to figure out the best route to get down there. I think it's just head past all the fields on our left, hit the main road, circle back, and then just join that field. It looks like a pretty straightforward trip, if I'm being honest, guys. So let's head over there then. We've got the sprayer attached, we've got 1500 litres, hopefully we'll have enough. I'll drive down there and I'll see you guys down at the field and we'll talk about this spraying contract. Here we are, guys, we're arriving at the field. I've got to be honest, it looks withered to me. It looks like that crop has actually not been harvested. It looks like it's a sorghum crop and Katie has just let it wither. Now, to be honest, people in glass houses can't throw stones. I have let the odd crop wither here and there in my other playthroughs. It's just one of those things that you forget that your fields have a certain lifespan in terms of a live crop, and if you don't harvest them in time, the crop withers and you can get nothing from it. You just need to be a little bit careful. On a previous playthrough, I bought a field. I think it had canola in, which, as we've discussed, is a pretty lucrative crop. And I got so caught up in doing contracts, finished the contracts, went to bed, woke up the next day, thought, oh, I'll go and harvest that canola field. Went down there, whole thing had withered. Don't do that, guys. Don't let your crops wither, as Katie has done here. Yeah, and I would probably recommend don't pay a farmer to £6,000 to fertilise your withered crop, I guess. But you know, if that's what Katie wants, that's what we'll do. It's a pretty lucrative contract. It's not going to take us very long at all, and it's going to pay out pretty well. Make us £6,000 fertilising a withered crop. So I'll crack on with this, guys. The rain is happening. It's going till 6 o'clock. Now that's a long time. So I think what we'll do is once we've finished this fertilising contract, we might have a look for another one, just to pass the time and make that cash up. Once this contract is completed, of course, we will have enough to buy the field that we're looking to buy, field number 8. But we still have the harvester. It's just sat there with its windscreen wipers going.
Racing my own thoughts into the silence, seeking the guidance I forgot. It's somewhere lost, lost to the cages of chaos I forgot.
Okay, nearly finished there, guys. Pretty easy contract, only took 10 minutes or so. There was another fertiliser one on there, I noticed, but we'll collect this one first and get that money, which basically means we can now afford the field. So we will definitely be buying the field at the end of the episode, providing that the rain goes off and we can actually finish that harvest. I don't want to buy the field without finishing the harvest. But there's another fertiliser one, and would you look at that? It is literally connected to this field. It is right behind us. That is absolutely perfect. We only have 580 odd litres of fertiliser left, so I'm fairly certain we're not going to have enough in the tank to get this job done. But that's okay, we'll get it started, we'll run it down to nothing, and then we'll go fill up again and complete this particular contract. As I said earlier on, guys, it's 12:43 in the afternoon. The rain isn't stopping until 6 o'clock. We really have to find something to do with our time. There is another cultivating contract out there for another 10,000, by the way, that I did notice while I was looking through the contracts. So I'm thinking we will probably get our helper onto that as well, and they can pass the afternoon doing that particular contract while we, I don't know, take a nap, I suppose. There's nothing for us to do this afternoon. But let's get this fertilising one done. I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to watch me fertilise a second field in a row, so I'll probably fade this one out and cut to the next job. Here we are back at the farm, guys, crashing into trees as you do. Should probably do something about all this undergrowth, overgrowth thing we've got going on. But as suspected, we did run out of fertiliser before we finished that field. We do want to collect on that contract, so I've headed back up to the farm. We're going to back up into the trigger point, or at least attempt to back up into the trigger point. Pretty sure that is a fail. We'll go back to the hole in the wall, get ourselves some more fertiliser and finish the contract. The contract is going to actually give us a payout that is going to enable us to afford the field. We can afford the field right now, which is pretty exciting. No, we only want 1,000 litres, thank you. It's pretty exciting. We can buy the field. We are going to end the episode with another piece of land. Now that piece of land is for our peas. We can't plant peas until March, as I think we've discussed before. However, we'll need to do some work on it. Once that cotton is harvested, it'll need cultivating and lime probably, but we'll have a look at that situation afterwards. Anyway, let's head back down to the field. I'll get this finished off camera and we'll collect on that contract. The next time that we meet up will probably be to finish off the cotton harvest. Okay, my mistake, we're just kicking off this contract here. I do know that it's only 13:35 in the afternoon and we've got plenty of time to get this big field done as well. So I think we're actually going to end this episode on a nice chunk of money, even with the purchase of a field. I think we're going to be £20,000 in pocket. And as it happens, this cultivating contract that we're going to put the helper on was right next door to where we needed to be for the previous contract. So two fertilising contracts back to back, two cultivating contracts on fields that are back to back. You can't ask for any more than that, guys, can you? Anyway, let's go finish that cotton harvest in a few hours. And as you can see, guys, it is 7:15 in the evening and the rain has finally stopped. Now, for you guys, that was about 3 seconds. For me, that took an age to wait for that rain to stop. So let's get a helper harvesting the rest of this cotton. I'm not entirely sure what our helper is doing here. Do you know, I think I might just end up doing this one myself. The thing with the cotton harvester, I've only done a cotton harvest once before in Farming Simulator, and they're actually quite good fun. These cotton harvesters, they turn on an absolute sixpence. They really do, so you can get up and down these fields really, really quick with the cotton harvester. We might want to consider on our series potentially doing cotton. The problem with cotton, these harvesters are really, really expensive. So you've got to commit. You know, you really do have to commit to cotton harvesting if you're gonna do it in the game. So I'm gonna take over. We're gonna go. Well, first of all, of course, we need to turn the harvester on. Otherwise, we're not going to harvest anything. As you've just spotted there, the AI assist or the steering assist is telling us we need to do quite a bunch of ups and downs. But like I said, these things turn so well that it makes these fields go through pretty quickly, to be honest. Unlike a combine, which can sometimes be a bit cumbersome to turn, these things turn on an absolute sixpence, and we can get ourselves down and up on these fields pretty quickly. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to finish this field by myself, and I'll see you on the other side. Enjoy. And there we go. That's the cotton harvested. It's all in the back. We haven't even half filled the harvester, to be honest, but we will get a big bale of cotton popping out the back, a big chunk of cotton, which we're then going to load up onto that trailer and take down to the sell point. As I've mentioned before, these harvests for cotton are actually worth doing. If the field is not too far away from the shop and you hire the gear, the harvester, it is slow getting to where it needs to be, but the actual harvest itself goes pretty quick, and you do get yourself a decent bonus from selling the cotton. I've always found that on the ones that I've done before, always found that even if you're selling one bale, quite often the value of the bonus that you get from the harvest is equal to or more than the value of the contract. So it's definitely well worth doing. There you go. There is a big pile of cotton being pooped out the back of that cotton harvester. So let's jump out of the harvester. Let's get into the trailer. Get into the tractor rather, with the cotton trailer. We just need to simply reverse up to that cotton, and the trailer in its operating position will pick it up, it'll drag it on board, and then we can head down to the sell point and we can get that thing sold and see what kind of a bonus we get. Of course, it does mean I do have to do some reversing, and it's becoming a common theme in this series that the reversing, it ain't great. But actually this one isn't going to go too bad once we get out of the trees. So heading up to the cotton, we're in the operating position, so it should just grab that cotton bale if we can just get close enough. There we go. It's grabbed the bale. Fantastic. So we're going to head down to the sell point. It's not too far. Going to check the map, but I think we just need to skirt these fields to the left to meet up with the main road. And then just after the bridge on the main road, which you can see on the right hand side of the map there, we just need to head into that sell point, figure out where to sell this thing, and away we go. So what I'll do, I will drive the tractor down there with the cotton bale on the back, and I'll join you guys at the sell point, and let's have a look and let's see what sort of bonus we can get from this harvest. So here we go, guys, we're at the sell point. We just need to figure out where to drop this thing. There's an arrow pointed, they've got a bit of a one-way system going on here. There's an arrow to the left there. Let's go and have a little look. Is this where we take it? I presume we can open this and have a look inside. No, there doesn't seem to be a sell point inside there. Okay, you're not entirely sure where to take this bale, but let's jump back in the tractor, carry on around this one-way system a little bit more. Let's see if we can find where we need to drop it off. That is the thing with some of these sell points, guys. They're a little bit cryptic on where you have to be to actually drop the gear off. With the silos and the combinable crops, here we go, this looks pretty good. The combinable crops tend to be a bit easier. The silos have got these grates on the floors that you can drop into. Are you going to take the bale? Do I need to click this thing? No, that doesn't seem to do anything. I think there's an unload option on the trailer actually. Let's see if we can find that unload and drop it into that little point, and let's just see. We'll drag it in so it's pretty square. Yeah, just checking, there is an unload option. We'll just press Y for that. Let's see what happens. So we'll get it in there, and then we'll unload it, and then hopefully it'll just vanish and we will get paid for this cotton contract. Okay, we're unloading. Let's pull it forward, see what happens. Yes, there we go. 7,660. Now the contract was only worth just over 3,000, guys. So we did the contract and get the 3,000, and we got a £7.5 thousand bonus for selling that cotton. That's why you do cotton contracts, guys. They are very lucrative. Right, we've got the money. Now is the time. Let's head over to field 8. All nicely harvested, and we're going to buy this field. And we're actually going to finish this episode with probably about £40,000, which is more than we started with, and we've purchased a field at the same time. So I think this has been very, very successful. Despite the rain hampering our attempts to harvest this field, we've managed to get it done. We did have to stay up a bit later than usual. It's 8:20 in the evening. Let's head home. Let's watch a little bit of Netflix. But here we are, guys, in our brand new field, which we're going to harvest. We're going to sow with peas when March comes around. And I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.